So, hello. I'm just going to make sure I have sound on this thing. Sound working? Yes, sound working. Welcome to Mystic Moons. I guess I could have added as chit chat. But right now, this is a floor open to your readings, personal readings. It's Taurus season. The first day of Taurus season. A continuation of spring. Where I am in four season land, everything is starting to warm up and become, I don't know, so alive again. It's interesting too when you consider the cadence of spring. For me, one really clear hallmarker of spring is how easy it is to grow things. For instance, as a hobby, I like to go and start a whole bunch of plants, and dracanias, to me, are always the easiest to start. The place I was in last had a whole bunch of windows. I forgot what direction it was, but one side of the apartment was all glass. And not just any glass. Those windows were about, maybe they were about 3 feet by 5 feet. All along a rectangular layout that was, all those windows were 6 by 9, 6 feet by 9 feet. And the place that we were in, it was a loft. So we had ceilings that were over 25 feet. The point is, anyway, we had a lot of light. The morning light, no. Afternoon light, evening light, yes. We always caught the setting sun. And I never had a problem, but especially there, dracanias were easy to set up. I would be snapping them off and rooting them up. And then here, I tried to go and set up dracanias, even little tiny ones. They would only start in the spring. So right now is a magic time to go and set up all our little plant cuttings and things of that nature. Bang. For some reason, my little muse will not leave me alone today. She's sticking to me like glue everywhere I go. Anyway, yesterday I went out to go and get some plants. I got 2 plants. I got this monstera. She thought I did very, very good with that. And then I got these petunias. I see some other things I want to get. There's a Mexican peppercorn. The greenhouse I go to, the nursery, they always have been selling them, but the guy who works there, he's been getting a whole bunch of fresh new propagations ready. A whole bunch of sticks in the greenhouse are being prepped to be sold. The prices, I think, are $15 for a small thing of Mexican peppercorn, also known as a yerba santa, to maybe $30, $45 for a slightly larger plant. And apparently you can go and use the greens in place of corn husk and things like tamales when you wrap things up. It's also it's known as a sacred leaf. It has scents of sassafras. Well, it's also known as a root beer plant. Anise. Anyway, it's supposed to be quite a unique and essential flavoring in Mexican cooking. Certain recipes of Tabasco sauce use it. That's next on my list, although it calls for a full sun. And right now, for me, full sun is using grow lights primarily. Yesterday, when I was going out, this little kitty, who's a tourist, by the way, she loves plants. Loves, loves, loves gardening. Every plant she loves. I know that she must have thought, she picked up the pictographs. She says, "You are going to go to the greenhouse. Can't you take me with you?" I do take her out, but I haven't taken her out yet because in this place, once I start taking her out, I kind of always have to then take her out. She won't take no for an answer. Hello, Cher. Yes, we can take a look for you. Will you meet someone before your birthday? Shall we find out? I guess you are single. You don't have to tell me, but that implies it. No, no need. Let's just go and see. Okay, let's go and see. We'll start the reading now. Will you meet someone before your birthday? Move this over here a little bit. And let's find out. So I have a Six of Wands. Ace of Pentacles, bottom of the deck energy. It's possible. One could say in this energy, perhaps there's been a drought coming up. A drought that's happened, maybe from last year, last summer, to now, but things are opening up. I do have some Leo energy coming up here, Cher. Maybe you have Leo energy in your chart. Maybe this question has significance, if you do, to that Leo energy in there. I would say you can keep an eye out for Leos, but it's a little hard to go and discern that when you first meet someone. Also, too, in here, we could be considering timing. So, you know, I wonder if Leo season has anything to do with your birthday. Anyway, we have a Six of Wands. Good chance, good possibility. I have a Nine of Pentacles. And a Queen of Pentacles. Well, Cher, I definitely see that you are open and available. You are viewed in some pretty good light. There's nothing stopping you from going after the type of connection and relationship that you want. Page of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Nothing stopping you, Cher, except the fact that for you, for meeting someone, can't be frivolous. You bring weight and gravity into what you seek, and I think that's kind of apparent and obvious. No one can approach you for anything but, well, someone who's sincere, someone who's real, someone who's also too sharing this energy, ready to settle down, ready to commit. So know that as well. In your question, that's the energy you give out, very matter of fact and straightforward. So the person, Cher, who would approach you is going to be someone who recognizes that and can respect that. Will you meet someone before your birthday? You have excellent chances of doing so. We had strong Leo energy before. We also have some Virgo energy coming in. Could be later in the year, Cher, with these markers coming up. I think it's going to be later in the year for you, Cher. Not necessarily by your birthday. I can continue looking into this, or if you have another question, you can let me know. But I think that this is pretty much fleshed out. I would see this energy coming up here, Cher, as you're viewable, you're presentable, you're seen by people, but also to the type of people who would approach you, the type of people who you would accept, the person you'd want. Would be a very Pacific type of person. And I would say in terms of timing, I would look towards later in the year, late summer, early fall. Interesting, though, the fact that we have some Aries energy threading in here. I do think as well, Cher, part of the energy here is visibility. Sure, I can do that. Well, let's see, before I put this down, anything more I want to put in here or share? Share. No, I just feel like you're at a certain level where only a certain type of person would approach you, would have the confidence to approach you, also too, would be willing to go and fulfill what is quite obvious. No one could approach you for frivolous matters. And I would say for timing here, late summer, early fall. Energies primarily Leo and Virgo. And then we also have some Aries, some Cancer, and some Capricorn. Not really picking up anything more to say on that. Five of Wands, Queen of Swords. No, it's a little bit of perfectionist energy. Things must be perfect. Things are not perfect. Trying to go and, well, things are dissatisfactory in this energy. Very high standards. People around you are not necessarily matching those standards. Matching those standards too, which from what I can see from you is, when you form loyalties, you form bonds, they are pretty much long-term things, permanent things. Again, no frivolous type of energies here. Also too, for the type of relationship, the type of person who you would consider being with, again, not around. Of course, that's a little obvious with your question, but that's the basic energy here. Oops. Ace of Wands want to come out. We'll keep it in mind. So, Five of Wands, Ace of Cups, Six of Swords, Ten of Cups. Hard to find satisfaction in the current climate of what you're working with. The stock is low of adequate people. I would say in this energy as well, Three of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. There's definitely reflections of people who you have crossed paths with, people who have determined ultimately there was a breakage, people who refused you. I'd say people who also you refused. They linger on you. They linger on you, but also knowing that ultimately not something you can come back to, cycle back to. King of Swords, Four of Cups. Do I see a general reading for you on love? Things are just very slow right now. People don't necessarily want to go and bother. Too much hassle. Also, too, one could say in this energy, the people, the men around you have been a little weak, a little lazy, a little sloppy. And they're not necessarily inclined to change that. They know as well being with you would only highlight their flaws. Or you've seen their flaws and tossed them away. You know, in your case, first of all, in the energy that I have, lazy, sloppy, weak people, you're never going to give time to. Inadequate people, stunted people. And that's a lot of the people that are around you. In this energy, the type of partner that you need is someone who is determined to improve themselves time after time. And also, too, someone who is quite serious in the commitments they adapt to and pick up. You need someone with a strong sense of responsibility. And in this case, you probably haven't met anybody or not meeting many people because it's not really in your energy to do so. Or let's say when other people would go and give time to people because they don't want to be lonely, or other people, other men are seeking out partners, but they're seeking out partners of who they don't feel threatened by, who they feel like they can be in control, they can be the impressive one. With that, they have an inability to do that. Majority of the men around here, around you, are in that energy, and it's not really meeting someone, it's meeting the right one. One would say in this energy, the right one is becoming. One could also say in this energy as well, in terms of timing, we're talking about later part of the year, later part of their life, later part of your life. This is just later. If we're going to say timing, I have a whole bunch of things that suggest things will be moving forward significantly as the year progresses, but we have to go into fall. So you can think about that with your birthday. The more time that passes, the more significant it will be. I see we still have a little bit of time left. Or do we? So I think that was it, but I'll pull one more card for you on that. But essentially what I see here, by your birthday, if your birthday is in after the halfway point of the year, I see it like 75% of the year's completion. You can meet someone late summer, early fall. I feel like things won't really become significant until fall, even winter. And so you're going to have to make sure you keep your spirits up, Cher. That's my final word for you. The changes you want do take a long time for them to come up. Who knows why? That's the energy I got. You have to be patient. And also, too, I'll say in this energy, you already have been patient. But patience is what is asked of you. Okay, Cher, that is my message for you. I guess I could say, too, in this energy, Cher, you know, there are people who seek physical connections, people who don't really value emotionality or emotional connections, people who are stunted or afraid to open themselves up. Open up their hearts, how they truly feel, open up their minds, how they really think. It's a lot easier to go and connect with, immediacy, physicality, connect over distractions, rather than dealing with a person to a person, their hopes and fears to another's hopes and fears. And I'll say too, that's a little bit of the friction here, is that when you seek out connections, you do want someone to be open emotionally and intellectually. What do they really think? How do they really feel? And many people are guarded about, they're all too happy to get the insight into you, but they're very guarded about their true heart, their true thoughts. They don't want to be read. They don't want to be predicted. Thank you for the likes. So that's my final word there, Cher. So, think about that, Cher. With what's being said there too, it's not like that is the word, right? It's just right now in your energy with the current routine that you have going, the current energy that's around you. You can think about how to go and change the energy around you, and more changes will happen. But even with the changes that you could have happening, it's not going to change the fact that you're someone who people can tell inspires the complete deal. And so only someone who's willing to go and give commitment, place an importance upon someone else, place importance upon you, only someone in that energy or that ability to do so would approach. I don't have my tinctures, and I guess we'll go and pet the magic kitty. In the meantime, we will scratch her little head. Does anyone else have any questions? Share one thing I'm going to say too as a recommendation. I did a couple readings in the beginning of the year about love. I did some Valentine's Day readings and one about love in 2026. And, I recommend, Cher, you check it out. Check it out for your sun sign and your Venus sign. And, if your Venus sign is has some strong aspects to your moon or to your ascendant, you can check that out as well. But I would recommend your Sun and your Venus. Because those messages on love go beyond necessarily romantic partnerships, but they also talk about self-love, universal love. The messages are a little varied there. Things to keep in mind. I should actually move her. Like, I don't necessarily want her here with her little muffy face. Chowaqui. Chowaqui. She says, I'm Chowaqui. Her chin is just the slightest bit of orange. Her brother has a little gray spot right there, which I don't know if you can hear, as his little meows in the background. Anyway, Cher, do consider, if you'd like, to become a member. Become a Moonwalker. With Moonwalker Cher, I do open up member lives in which you can go and get some readings. I had one, I think Friday. Days are running into each other on an Aware and Beware. So consider that. It's an extra perk. Do you have any other comments? Yeah, it's a little bit of a stalemate energy. But I would say it's only because you're just surrounded by a bunch of weak people. Weak people for your purposes. And they feel like some inadequacies are highlighted. When they're with you. They're just low value men. And with what you want, with what you offer, you could say that you have a blessing in the fact that the low value men don't even bother wasting your time. Or at least wasting your time with getting you to believe that they care or that they're this or they're that when they're not. That's what my little kitty feet says. Because I got feet. Little kitty feet. I'm trying to get under bush. So this is actually my spot. I'm allowing you to share it with me. He says, you made this for me. This is my little kitty pad. She don't want her so close to the phone. Come on, little baby girl. Is this your spot? She says it's my spot. It's her Cherokee spot. It's my mystic spot. The channel is named after her. Mystic Moons, and we have a Mystic Cherokee. She was born like Moses. She was by the river. There are Canadian geese all around her, a huge flock. Apparently, her mother must have gone and captured things and washed them off or drowned them in the river, because every toy that she had for the longest time, she would put them in the water bowl and put her paw on top of it, like suffocating the toys. Very unique form of hunting she learned. The early years of us all, early days, weeks in her case, early years in our case, are important. Anyway, I should go and move her off of here. With some combing, she will move. I have a lot of cat hair. Where are you going to leave now? Is it itchy over there? She says it's itchy. So if anyone else has questions about their life, what does Taurus season hold for you? Summer is just a heartbeat away. Entering, what is it, the second quarter of the year? Very soon for business. All the prices are going up, but nothing quite like what we're going to see. And of course, people's day-to-day business hasn't necessarily changed. Although I do think I have read of other large-scale businesses that have scaled down. It stinks. Does it stink? He says it stinks. Anyway, I'll put that in the plant. Do you like that? Did you need a scratch? I think she just wants attention. There's a pond I used to take her to, where there would be a whole flock of geese, not where she was born, but somewhere about 100 miles away from where she was born. And we would sit on the dock and feed the geese bread. I had enough money at the time to go and buy just regular bread, because that's what the geese liked. Although I know that you shouldn't feed geese. Is that enough? Okay, well then move. Okay, so now we have the cat gone. Anyway, yes, I'm here for readings. If anyone would like one, let me know. Now that my cat has moved on and yet has given me a whole bunch of cat hairs and whatnot to deal with. My little plant set up here. Anyway, let me know. Hello. So who is watching you? Let's find out. Is there anyone watching? Lovers, hangman, judgment. I don't know whether to say it's an admirer, but definitely someone who viewed you in romantic light. Nine of Wands. Ace of Cups. Five of Swords and yes, you're being watched by somebody who is considering biding their time for partnership. This person is waiting for their chance to approach. Their approach, most likely when they do come, would be a little strong. Maybe even a little toothy. Signs coming up here. We have a mix of them: Sagittarius, Cancer, Pisces, Gemini, Aquarius. Doesn't necessarily have to be love in this energy, but here is someone who does like to form close bonds, at least with you they feel inclined to. Don't exactly like to be told boundaries or borders on that. This is not somebody romantic. This is someone who you could consider them to have inappropriate boundaries with you. That's what they insist upon, and that could be a little uncomfortable towards you, or if they aren't necessarily that type of person to you, they find it difficult to express their feelings naturally. Well, that's my reading for you.